Check. All right, we've made it, fellas. G'day, Stu from UAVFutures. This is stream number 24, getting very close to half a year, at least. I think it's about 24. I'm feeling a little bit flustered. Hopefully we don't have any computer problems. Of course, things love to shut down and break and all that sort of stuff. Let me just get some of these windows sorted. But we're on time. Things are working. I can see some madmen in the chats already. We're going to be talking about them. But we've got some big things to talk about in today's live stream. Of course, people are absolutely losing their mind about DJI 04, and I could not be happier. Like, it looks like an incredible product. We're going to be talking about that. We have, let me just double check my show notes as well, and hopefully this audio is working. If you can let me know, how is this coming through? Check, mic check. What else we got? We need to talk about the new CADDX system, which there's been some leaks, and I got some emails and things I can talk about, share a little bit more information on that. Hopefully I don't get anybody in trouble. We need to talk about which system do I recommend, because now we've got two very affordable options out there. We're going to be talking about digital FOMO. If you are looking at all this and you have a set of goggles and you're like, man, have I chosen the wrong one? Well, I'm going to be calming those nerves and just sort of making you take stock of what you've got. And we're going to be talking about, like, how do you find those products in stock and all that sort of stuff. So there is a heap to talk about. Maybe we're going to be throwing some other things that aren't just specific digital FPV video systems. I know that is what a lot of people are talking about right now. But I'm going to catch up on the chat why a couple of people are tuning in, and I did put a little goal somewhere. I don't even know if this actually displays on the screen, if you guys can do it, because straight off the bat, a big shout out to Johnny DRC, and he said, happy flying. Stewie sent through his little $2 super chat right there, so thank you very much, you absolute legend. He's here week in, week out, and we actually have Stickman Steve, so he's not only is Stickman Steve supporting the channel, being in the videos, he's kind of like paying me now. So there we go. Look at that for an employee who is paying his boss right there with the super chat as well. So that goal, though, that you can see, I think you can see, please let me know in the chat. This is the first time I've ever tried to set one of these things up. That is like a funding goal so we can get a new DJI 04 air unit. So YouTube didn't give me too many options, but maybe that's there. Hopefully that's coming through where we can aim to try to get that. That's the plan anyway. If we can reach that goal, we can put some orders in, and then I can make some 04 air units. So that's something that I would be stoked to do. We already have these bad boys. Let's have a look. So we already have these. So being able to bind these up to some of those new air units, I am pretty stoked. And I have to be honest, I am probably most excited about the light air unit, which we're going to be talking about as well. Versus, like, the Pro unit looks amazing for what it does, but if I'm honest, my favorite type of craft to fly is like those little 2-inch things, like the Lightning, just that absolutely scream around. The 04 is probably going to be king in terms of those bigger, larger freestyles and that sort of stuff. But yeah, the light, I got to say, I am pumped. I can't wait to test it. And it's going to be very, very interesting to compare it to those 1S solutions that we have with things like the CADDX system and maybe even HD0 when it comes to racing and that sort of stuff. All right, let's see. We got props off. He's saying We Bleed FPV Champs is on too. Yeah, he's an absolute legend. Yeah, We Bleed FPV, working about getting them into DIY FPV actually, so being able to show some of their products and that sort of stuff. He had some really good feedback, does a lot for the community, so yeah, big double thumbs up for them. Can't recommend their store enough, and I can't wait to be able to make DIY FPV sort of a place where we can integrate them and give them some options and things like that as well. So they had some fantastic feedback, so hopefully they're having a good time out there. Do a lot for you. We got Kiz in the chat as well. He is saying hey y'all, and the big one, we always start this off talking about like FPV. This is like the best part of my working week, sitting down, connecting with you guys. It grounds me. It's very easy to make videos and you realize that they've seen by like thousands or sometimes hundreds of thousands of people, but you people right here, like, just to be able to have that connection that I am the same as you guys. I'm just a guy who likes FPV. I like to fly around in the field with my mates and share my experiences. So I'd love to know what you're flying as well. What are you having a good time with? What are you pumped for? Like, any questions about FPV, I would love to answer. And if you have like some specific, very niche thing that you're like, can you help me do this? That is like my goal, to get you flying, to have an awesome time in the skies, change your life through FPV. Now, I should give a shout out to today's little sponsor. Where have I put my drink bottle? Oh man, I made myself like a nice, well, you guys probably call it like soda waters or something, but oh, there it is. Hang on, let me just get this. Normally we have a coffee, so shout out to Central Coast Coffee because they basically hook us up every month with some new coffee, but that is coming from Phaser FPV. So big shout out to Phaser FPV as well, because he's been with the channel for a long time. He's been around for a long time, does a lot for the community. So I want to give him a bit of a double thumbs up there. Reese is a super cool guy. Okay, let's move on though. We're going to talk about DJI in just a little bit, but I will be able to answer a couple of these little questions. And then give Steve 5 ER, then have Steve super chat. I think that's insider trading. Yeah, maybe I'll just give Steve some cash, but then YouTube's going to be taking all that cut. But we have right here, have I tried the 2.5 inch? I don't even know how to pronounce that. KO mini frame. Let me just do a quick little Google. I am all about like those tiny little 2 inches to 3 inches, I think are the perfect size for flying. And I know Johnny DRC, I can see his chat there about the Draknite. Let me see if I can get this on the screen for you guys. Let's see, so that's this. This is what we're going to try and Google right there. KAYOU mini. Quick Google. Okay, so here is the frame. Okay, so on some things, they've got to say this is not what I was expecting. So let's get this on the screen for you guys to be able to see. Please don't break, computer. If this breaks, JZE, I am blaming you for the downfall of the stream. There we go. We got lucky. But this mini frame, let's have a bit of a squiz. So I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it looks like it would be heavy. With all this stuff at the front. I don't know. No, I haven't tried this. How thick is it? A 3mm bottom plate. I guess that's not. It feels pretty chunky. It's probably very robust. I think one of the secrets about if you're going to be going with this smaller frames is to have a very, very light craft, like as light as possible. No, I haven't seen this. I wonder if they're on DIY FPV. We might be able to integrate them. If you know these guys, tell them to send me an email. We'll see if we can hook them up and get them into the DIY FPV database. All right. And then let me see this window here. I need to get my Stream Deck actually set up because it's sitting here. Look at this. We're doing live streams. I have this, but I just have not plugged it in or started to use. I mean, I used to use this years ago, but I should probably use that. It would probably make things a lot easier. Okay. Someone's saying my phone. No, my phone's not going off. I'm not too sure. All right. Rundle is saying, Steve, are you still going to be flying Walk Snail, or has the 04, or how has the 04 made you feel? Okay, this is, we can probably move into this right now because I had a conversation with Stickman Steve. We're talking about this question right here. And I'll get Steve's response. This is really valuable. And he was saying, and I could be paraphrasing, maybe Steve will cut me off in the chat, or I'll have to correct this video. With all this 04 Bizzo going out there, and have to say, it looks incredible. Like, even as a Walk Snail pilot, that is my current system. Well, it was my current system of choice in 2024. 2025 might very well change because we have no allegiance to one side or the other, whether it be HD0, whether it be Walk Snail, whether it be DJI and the latest stuff. Every single system offers benefits and also has some negatives. So you're not going to be taking Walk Snail in its current form to the races. I'm not going to be taking the 04 Pro and DJI if I'm flying around whoops. Like, there is no one system to rule them all. But looking at some of those DJI videos, which we'll be talking about in just a little bit, I have not tried DJI 04 just yet. It looks bloody good. So I know Steve has fully dived into the Walk Snail ecosystem, and with the chats I had with him, he said, man, this is looking pretty nice. But my advice would be, don't worry too much about that digital FOMO. What can you do with your current system that you can't already do with another system? And probably a good way, I was trying to think of an analogy for you guys, and we're going to circle back this when I do a full segment of this towards the end of the stream. You might be looking at DJI 04 now and being like, man, I really, really want that. However, comparison, I think there's a saying, somebody can let me know, that comparison is the theft of joy. If you, let's say you went into like a raffle, right, or a lottery, and you and a bunch of people put in, and there was like some prizes out there, you won $1,000, you would be absolutely stoked. However, if your mate next to you, or maybe your neighbor, they also happen to enter that lottery, and then they won $1 billion. All of a sudden, once you know that they've won $1 billion, and you were wrapped with having $1,000, but now they've won $1 billion over here, it doesn't actually reduce the value of your $1,000. You can still do exactly the same thing that you could do with your $1,000 before, but because this person now has options like to do other things, for some reason our human monkey brains just sort of freak out, and they're like, oh, I want that. That's not fair. I don't like mine anymore. Like, it's just probably human nature, and there's definitely some psychology going on there. But what if you're having an awesome time with your system? That is probably the main thing. If you are only flying around on analog, and we gave someone some DJI like version 1s to test out with digital, they'd be like, amazing. If you it's all about like that comparison point and like where your frame of reference is. So yes, people are definitely going to be feeling jealous. Those new videos look amazing, but it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy what you currently already have. That's probably the part that I really want to get through, and other people can, you know, chime in the comments down below. So like, we've got people who are just flying around on old EV800Ds. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy FPV. I started here using old security cameras that were like incredibly, they didn't even have mounting ways to put them in. They were like a flat board. You had to jam inside your drone with pieces of foam, and they only ever ran off 12 volts. They were like the worst cameras you could ever imagine. A lot of people were like, I'm never going to fly with that. But guess what? I fell in love with FPV back then. So all this stuff is just an extra bonus. Maybe that's getting that through. All right, Morning View is asking me, why didn't DJI send you 04? Really? Well, that's what I've set up a little super chat goal. Please let me know if that chat is actually coming up, because I don't know. I'm looking at my end. I think it's set, but I'm not too sure right there. If you would like to support, that's how we are aiming to get an 04 on the channel. So that's where your super chats are going to be going to. It would be greatly appreciated. I'd love to make some 04 content. Why didn't DJI send me their stuff? I don't know. If I ran a company, why would I support someone who was critical of me from a marketing standpoint? Like, it makes perfect financial sense. There was a time when they were like, cool, like they were super chatty and everything. And then like, even on their first system, talking to those guys at DJI. But then when I was like, look, guys, we need to be careful here, I guess, talking about monopolies and some of those questions and answers, and just sort of bringing that into conversation and talking about some of the strengths and weaknesses of the system, and how it like playing with other analog pilots and like bleed and all that sort of stuff. They were just like, yeah, we're never speaking to you again, Stuart. So I don't know, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. I take it as like a sign of integrity. I'm not saying that anybody who has an 04 is not like telling the truth. I think, you know, there's very little negative things to say about the 04. It looks amazing in any of the videos. How can I clear this? Oh, great. I feel like my computer has frozen. But yeah, the reason I don't have an 04, I think either two reasons. Maybe I just make terrible content, they couldn't care less. Or number two, being critical in the past just put you on a little blacklist, and they're like, yeah, nah, we don't need to deal with that. We don't want to have any criticism before the launch. So, and then they'd probably figure he's going to get one anyway. He can be critical once all those sales have happened. People put their pre-orders in. He hasn't interrupted with the FOMO of it. So I don't know. Probably the same reason Mads Tex didn't get one either. So there we go. Johnny DRC saying, I'm still happy with Walk Snail. I went Walk Snail because of the price, but now I'm thinking I should have gone with DJI. Well, how long have you been flying around with Walk Snail? I think right now in 2025 is the first time when Walksnail might not be the choice for even a budget system. Like that's where I think Walksnail really succeeded in the past with their like these goggles right here. Cruising around with these things, I was like, this is amazing. For like $200, what a way to get into the hobby. I think about 5 months ago or something, I did do a video on like, this is an amazing kit you're going to have a lot of fun with. But now with the 04 lights out, that sounds like a knocking someone out. But with these bad boys, a cheaper set, or a comparatively, I think that's how you pronounce it, with a set like this out here, and for like, what's the price difference? 20% maybe. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, definitely. But I can't say for sure because we don't have an actual. Let me just refresh this. I don't know what's going on here. We don't actually have an 04 system to test. I'm just going on what I have seen so far. Now, for some reason, my YouTube studio has crashed. Are we still streaming, guys? Can you see this? I don't know why it does that. Let's see, pop this chat out. Here we are. And I need to find a way to fix this plugin, actually. Okay, that's not working as much as I would like it to. So I'm going to close that window, close this. Yes, we're still on. Oh, okay. I need to actually find a way to clear that because it's currently just stuck on my screen. Johnny DRC. Clear, please work. Okay. What about if I just minimize this? There we go. All right. So forever, otherwise Johnny DRC's question would be over the entire stream. Let's continue. Let's actually move on though. We're going to talk about it's an amazing little ripper. All right, that's from Michael there talking about the Lightning V2. Yeah, an incredible quad. My favorite quad of 2024, and I'm still going to fly it a lot in 2025. It's just so much fun. If someone says, Stu, this is all you could ever fly, it would be more than enough. It does everything that I want. Maybe not indoors though, because it's too fast. But even for like Steve and I racing around, I'm a faster pilot than him. Make sure you let him know that. Yeah, it's an awesome quad. If you haven't got a Lightning, go check them out. And being able to maybe put like an 04 light in there would be amazing as well. Okay, DJI 04, it's finally released. People are losing their minds, and I have to say thumbs up to them. Now, one of the best videos that I have seen is this video right here. So this is from Mr. Rossa or Chris. He is making some amazing stuff. Let me share my screen. And you would have seen, and it doesn't really do it justice by like, and this is the problem with a lot of the videos that you see on YouTube, critiques aside and all that sort of stuff, but the actual compression between the recording that you see is then put into editing software, is then uploaded to YouTube and compressed and that sort of stuff. Why is Steve ringing me? Stickman Steve. Yo, Stickman Steve, you're on speakerphone, brother, so don't drop any NDA stuff, but what's up?
I just want to know where you get this thing that you're faster than me from.
Okay, well, man, I checked the lap times. Remember we did that video? So, all right, Steve's calling in. All right, I'll talk to you later, Steve. All right, are you coming over later? Oh, we'll find out. Anyway, there we go. Steve's interrupting. However, how Johnny DRC, your things come back. How do I clear this? There we go. Sorry for that. Employees sort of ringing into the live stream. All right. 04 videos. This is the problem. People are seeing what they're seeing, like with the FPV flights. It's getting recorded as like a DVR. It is then getting pushed to your editing software. That editing software throws it up to YouTube. YouTube then compresses it, does its thing, and streams it back to you for you guys to watch. And now I am watching it on stream. So there's like 7 layers of compression and processing before you get to see what people are really looking at. So that is the problem with it. Regardless of what, I'm going to mute this so I don't get a copyright strike. But yeah, watching some of these comparisons, if you would like to know about the DJI O4 Air unit, there's plenty of amazing videos. I know Mads texted like a great teardown, and especially with like where it is in the bands and the levels, and the oscilloscope, so we can see like where the carrier signal is, what happens when you put it into race mode, all that sort of stuff. I think that is outstanding work. This, I did give it a thumbs up. I think I left oh, here we go. Such a good review. I hope this gets the views this video deserves. Thanks for all the hard work. So what we've got here is an amazing breakdown. Basically, there is so much work inside this video that I recommend. If you want to know the specs and the ins and the outs and all the technical details of what this is like, Chris did an amazing job. So I'm going to put this in the link afterwards. If you're not subscribed to Chris, well, what am I doing? Gee, there we go. Go check him out. He makes some really, really great videos. And this is probably the one that got me the most excited about the O4 Air unit. And especially when we're looking at the Pro and seeing some of the footage that people have, it looks incredible. Like the recordings, like what's streaming back, especially the range and the penetration that people are getting. The O4 Air unit, the Pro, is going to be unbeatable, especially in 2025. And I don't ever know if a company will get close to being able to replicate that. I'm not just talking like next year or like the year after, but DJI has set the bar so high that other companies, I don't think they can respond in that way. It is like, I'm all about analogies, and I see your thing there, Rick, you legend. I'm going to answer that in just a second. This is what it's like for DJI. They have built the pyramids. No one else no other civilization is going to be able to build something to rival that. So they've got to work on something totally different. Maybe they're working on some other wonder in the world that's like, oh, well, we're going to have an amazing art gallery or whatever that country wants to work on, because you know what? There's never going to be something bigger or grander that does it better than the pyramids. And I feel like that might need to be a little bit how we look at this video system. I need to stop Chris's video. No other company, I think, is ever going to beat DJI 04, and I can't believe I'm saying this. This is based on what I've seen in performance, like video clarity and range and penetration in that form factor. It is outstanding. I don't think any other company is going to have the resources to be able to technically develop that. Not now, not in a year. Like I'm saying, that is how far the bar is. No company is ever going to be able to build the pyramids. However, that doesn't mean that it is the be all and end all solution. So there is going to, a lot of people don't want to visit the pyramids. They want to see something else. They might want to see like the biggest library in the world. They might be like, hey, let's invent the internet. There is a lot of other places that DJI could improve on, and there's room for other companies to take those spaces. But clarity, penetration, like incredible video and transmission, I don't think that DJI is going to be beaten on that. And the crazy part, or the interesting part there, is that's the important part. When you're flying around, what do people want? They want great videos, stream back to their eyeballs, that they don't have to worry about it dropping out or anything like that. And they've improved a lot. Like when we look at the O4 and what it can do, if it has, and look, I'm talking positively about DJI here. I've been very, very critical in the past. I have no allegiance to one side or the other. My allegiance is to you, the viewers. I couldn't give two stuffs what CADDX thinks about me, what DJI thinks about me, or what HD0 thinks about me. And I actually wish them all the best. Like I want them to bring us, the consumers, the best products possible. The crazy thing about DJI is they feels like they've listened a little bit. Now, whether that be they've listened to us FPV pilots, saying this is what we want, and they're bringing us something out of the goodness of their heart, or whether they've got a personal vendetta against CADDX and Walksnail, and they were like, hey, we don't like what you've done in the past. We're going to do everything we can to destroy your business model and run you out of the game. Whichever one it is, it means we've gotten a great product this time around with the O4. And I really like too that we can fly with other people. I think race mode and what it offers is, like, racing is a small part of our medium, considerable, but not like the large majority of our hobby. But to have DJI now, the easy ability to be able to fly with other pilots, I think is top notch, because that's the best thing about FPV, cruising around with other pilots, having fun. And now if you can be on a different system to somebody else, but still enjoy the skies at the same time, it makes it so much better when you go in to meet up with pilots and cruise around. Like that was great about analog, even though analog was a nightmare sometimes with like people before we even had smart audio. Don't even get me started for those old school pilots out there. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic for people who want to cruise around and fly with other pilots. I think that for me, besides the image quality and like the pyramid level of amazingness from a technical standpoint, that control over video frequencies is something that I'm really excited about, and also like the small form factor as well. Now I want to catch up. This chat here from Rick. You legend. Thank you for supporting with that super chat. So I think we've still got a little way to go, but every little bit helps. And this is where I'm asking viewers. Like today, we do actually have a bit of a pledge, a bit of a drive. If DJI blacklists you, plus my walk snail didn't stop working just because the O4 exists. Enjoy what you have. Yeah, fly what you have. That digital FOMO, 100% correct. Thank you so much. Thank you for enjoying the products that you've got and taking stock of. You don't need the latest and greatest to have a good time. And thank you for supporting me in getting these O4 videos out, or on the way to getting an O4 video. So yeah, that's greatly appreciated. I don't know how this works. Maybe someone can talk about this. Please give me some feedback in there. But if the super chat counter is ticking up or something, let me know, because we're on their way. There we go. And Johnny DRC, I'm going to include yours in there as well. The right image looks the best to me. The top was the moonlight. Oh, we're talking about Chris Ross's comparisons. Yeah, awesome video that he's done. DJI doesn't stop. I would say they're already developing the 05. Unless you have billions of dollars, you won't be able to catch up. This is why I believe this generation of the 04 is so important, or so mind-blowingly awesome for us FPV pilots, looking at what it actually gives us for the price. The competition. We wouldn't be here without what Walksnail had brought to the table and was giving to the consumers. Even though Walksnail balls things up all the time and it's kind of frustrating, without that competition, I don't think DJI would have brought that out. You don't need, if you are selling FPV units like the 03, people, and there's no better option, people are not going to switch. They're just going to keep buying what you have. But DJI saw what CADDX was doing. It's like, oh, we need to combat this in some way. So that's why I've got it. In terms of the 05, well, why? If I ran a company and it was absolutely crushing it, and there was no competition around, I would just hold that tech until someone else competed. And then I'm like, oh, well, actually we do this. Otherwise, if you were innovating all the time, it doesn't get more people into the hobby. It just, if you're already the top leader, there is no real innovation. That's what one of the best things about innovation, about competition is it's innovative. And on that note, can you imagine, right, if Betaflight had a serious competitor in terms of like what to use? I know we've got iNav, but if we had another system which was like, oh, let's and half the community was using it, I guarantee we would be getting a lot more dev time, or people wanting to beat the other team for whatever reason. And it's even more profound when it comes to CADDX and DJI, because they're financially motivated to do that, right? Let's have a look. With competition, consumers win. Yes. Chris Croft is talking about changing VTX channels via dip switches. That was a pain. Whoops are fun. This is from David. FOMO is a real thing. Don't let it take away from what you really have. And someone's saying, dude, I thought US time zones were goofy. You guys are the bottom of the world. Take it to the next level. Well, we're actually all we're all upside down here. We're just, it's a little bit tricky here in Australia. Is it just me? I think Walkstyle does a pretty close job to DJI, at least for non-photographers. And we're going to talk about the latest CADDX system coming up in just a little bit. Someone's saying most of my drones are for Walksnail. And I wonder, and I brought this up today, I asked Mads Tex a question in his stream. I don't know if he saw it or not, though. Am I biased towards digital? Like if you came into the hobby today and you've only ever flown digital, you might be like, oh, look at this smearing or something. Is it like, I love video games today, and I used to play in like those old 8-bits. Like I have like an old Nintendo system. Actually, you want to see something cool? Check this out. It's right here. Like, I have like very limited hobbies, but one of them is like, this is pretty nerdy. Look at this. I haven't shown this on the stream before. But look at this bad boy. Don't worry, this is gonna get back to DJI. But like this thing right here was like my very first Nintendo way back in the day, and probably started one of my loves for video games. And I really like classic video games. Like I have like a little cabinet here, and it's got like all my old school games in here and stuff. But, and I'm putting this back very carefully, there's a lot of nostalgia there. And nowadays when I see things, it like just blows my mind of like, wow, look at these graphics. I cannot believe we are actually here. It feels like we are living in the future. And even when people are talking about like 5090s and all that sort of stuff. But if I started video games today and I looked at that stuff, I would be like, what complete garbage. How did those people even enjoy that? That's like most of my childhood in that nest right there. We've got the Sega and stuff like that. If you started FPV today, is it the same? Do you look at like old DJI 1 footage and almost vomit based on sort of like maybe the breakup? Oh, look, that grass looks too blocky, you know? And that's how I maybe feel with Walk Snail. When I look at Walk Snail, I do notice like some smearing, but it feels so much further than what I am used to that when I compare it to how I started with analog, it still looks absolutely gorgeous to me. And a lot of the games that I play today, they are not like, I'm not really into graphics. Graphics don't make the game, and this is going to get back to FPV. I'm more about like gameplay, and a lot of those indie games that haven't put all their time and resources into just image, just graphics. What does it look like? Like that doesn't sell it to me. Maybe that is what it's like when it comes to DJI as well, or when it comes to Walk Snail. I've seen where we've come from, and I don't need it to be the next bleeding, cutting edge 4K stream to my eyeballs, 5,000 frames per second to have a good time. But it might be very different. I'm only have one point of view. If you've jumped into FPV and you see other systems and other flights, and like maybe you see a bit of smearing on the grass, does that like really put you out of that system and be like, this is terrible, this is disgusting? It's all about those comparison points, which we talked about as well. Let's see, other people saying, yes, Ines, I can't help find myself. I don't know what you mean right there. Farmer78, I went with a budget approach with DJI FPV, buying the V2 goggles and the O3 paired for $500. If I buy the N3 goggles and the O4 Lite, it's definitely a cost saving. Is it a worthy compromise? Have you already got those? Have you already, you're saying I went with a budget approach. If you've already purchased them, you don't need to, then your decision's made. Do not go and buy another system. Having this N3 out, having these goggles is not going to reduce your enjoyment of your current V2 goggles. Like that, just because these are out, it doesn't make your current goggles any worse or any better. What I would say, the real choice now though comes if you are getting into the hobby. And I guess this is, which system do I recommend? If you're coming into the hobby in 2025, and you want to get digital FPV, which system do I recommend? We've sort of got three options when we talk about HD0. We talk about the N3 goggles and the Lite, or we talk about the Walk Snail Goggle L with the CADDX, with the Walk Snail 1S board. Now, if you're into whoop racing or maybe racing in general, it's an easy choice. It's got to be HD0. Like that is the tried and tested one, although it is very, very expensive. Or if you just want to go analog, there is nothing wrong with analogs for whoops or for racing. The big one now, especially, it used to be an easy choice. I would recommend these, right? The Goggles L to come in with a 1S kit. However, now with these, and I have to say, based on what I have seen, I have not flown the O4 Air unit as of yet. This is looking amazing. Like, is it the system that I would probably choose spending my own money on for one system to fly around? At this stage, probably. Like, I'm reluctant to say that because I haven't tested it. This is just going on third-hand experiences, but that doesn't mean you're going to have a terrible system with what you've already got. If you already got it, you've already made that decision. If the product, you've already spent the money on it, it's not going to make your other systems any worse. Now, you talking about the V2 goggles and the O3 for $500, the tricky part is there, your and that those goggles are going to be end of life. So you might have got a bargain on them. You might be having an awesome time with them, but going forwards as the O3 phases out, which I don't know when that's going to happen, stores would be able to give us a bit more information on that. But yeah, moving on to the O4 and the benefits. And if you want to fly smaller craft, that's where it's at. The best question you can ask yourself is, what does this current system do? What does this new product do that I can't do already with my current gear? That is it. That is it. And is that difference worth the money? This goes for any product in FPV, basically any product ever. Here's a bit of UAVFutures wisdom right now. What does this new thing that I want to buy do that I can't currently do already? What is the extra benefit? And then with that benefit, is that worth the dollars? Oh, the new O4 Lite system. I want to fly DJI. I want to have that range and that image clarity and that racing band, those racing bands in a small form factor. Can you get those elsewhere? Not really. Okay, that's a pretty good deal. I just want to cruise around with my 5-inch and enjoy some freestyle with some nice video. I can already do that with my my DJI goggles V2 and my O3 unit. Well, but I want to upgrade. Okay, well, is that difference worth the price? Worth buying a new air unit or buying the Pro and buying a new set of goggles? Like, that is the most important advice I can ever offer when you're trying to find out what product to purchase. Okay, I got the goggles X for my son, and my goggles got the goggles L. Got bands to hold batteries and batteries for them. Not looking back, good with CADDX. Yeah, well, let's talk about the CADDX system. I'm going to put these pictures on the screen, actually. So you would have seen, I did a video about this. How can I open this? Okay. Let's share this. Can I zoom this? Yes. Sorry, I don't normally open things with Microsoft Paint. It's normally open it with Photoshop, but I don't want to open up Photoshop while my stream is also running. So, OBS, you would have seen this. This came out recently, or I guess there's some leaks on this. So this is CADDX's, not answer, but the latest CADDX VTX that is coming out. Now, there's been some confusion around this. I'm going to be able to do some videos, hopefully, once I get the AOK in the future about things I can talk about, things I can't talk about, all that sort of stuff. But this, for me, is pretty exciting. This is the CADDX VTX. They're going to have 2 new systems that are coming out, or I should say 2 new VTXs. Man, the wording and the names are so confusing. Avatars, and it's the same as DJI goggles too. Goggles FPV or 1.5, I don't know. It always confuses me. However, there's 2 new VTXs coming on the CADDX side of things. One is talking about like a fixed latency, so they're going after the racing market. And we also, and I got to say, they're aiming at, in the emails that I think I can share this, but around 10 milliseconds delay. So a pretty fast response right there. And also to make analog as cheap, to make digital as cheap as analog. That is something that I think might be possible in the future. And really, if you were here at the start of the stream, talking about like DJI in terms of performance and the incredible things that they're doing with like video and like the technical capabilities of what DJI can offer is unmatched. And I don't think CADDX will ever be able to compete on that level, but they might be able to compete at some other things. And one of those things is cheap, affordable digital VTXs. And I am all about that. Like, give us those options. Do people want to pay more? Get these other high-end DJI options, or it's the same reason why people still buy analog today. It is price. It is so easy for me to sit here and say, oh, you should buy the latest and greatest, go buy the O3 goggles, get the O4 Air Unit Pros. Like, this is the only way to do FPV, but that's absolutely garbage. Like, that's complete. I'm sorry, that's just the dumbest advice anybody can give you without taking into like stock people's financial situations. I'm all about value for money, getting people flying. I don't have all the cash in the world, and I'm sure, especially in like today's cost of living crises, with telling people to go spend $1,000 on a pair of goggles and a drone VTX is insane for the normal everyday person. If you can do that, all the more power to you. I'm so happy that your life is going well, but a lot of these people, a vast majority of them, cannot afford to do that. So having a budget option, I could not be more stoked. Now, a couple of details. This is meant to be coming in at about 5 grams, and there is the conversation is around, is this walk snail? Is this CADDX? What's it going to work with? Now, this specific one, this is a CADDX VTX. Now, I don't know what that means for the avatar system. I believe, and take this all with a grain of salt, that this is made and will have, from what I'm being told, and CADDX has definitely stuffed some things up in the past, but when we talk about like the Goggles X, which mine are downstairs at the moment, but they are made so people can upgrade them. Like that was the big selling point, the thing that I really liked about them. Why buy a whole new goggle when new tech comes out if you can just buy the receiver, or like just buy that little part to upgrade them? I thought that was a fantastic idea. They sold that to us in, I guess, the press release for Walk Snail and the Goggles X. Now, if they don't do that, if CADDX does not offer us an upgrade option to be compatible with these VTXs, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I feel like that is doing the community so dirty. It puts me in a really bad spot. Like, hey, I did the review based on that. This is what they're saying, you know? But if they don't follow that through, that for me is disgusting practice. That it needs, if you are going to develop something new and you have the ability to upgrade our Goggles X to be compatible with that, it has to happen. Like, otherwise CADDX for me is not going to get another recommendation. They might make some really cool stuff, but it will only be exactly what they deliver. This is their product. This is what it does. This is what they say they will do. But I trust that about as far as I can throw my entire computer desk here. Not far at all. So that's, if they don't follow through with being able to upgrade our Goggle X's, give us some options to be able to make that compatible, I'm going to be crazy pissed. Like, I will be so angry for you guys. I get to fly around as everything that I want. I can fly every single system. Well, look, maybe not the DJI right now, if you'd like to support. There's that Patreon goal, or I should say there is that goal right there. But let me know what you think as well. From what I am hearing though, and I have to like just preface this with like, take this not as gospel, just of like some of my emails. We will have to wait and see, because they always balls things up. If though we get that, I will be like, oh, that is nice. It will put a lot of faith back in what they said. So it's either like a make or break point for me. They're going to follow through. They're going to let us upgrade the Goggle X's to be compatible with this new generation of, it's my mouse cursor coming through, with these new generations right here. Or if they don't make it compatible, like, it's the greatest lie ever told in FPV. I feel like that's a good thumbnail video, right? Let's see. Sorry, I got on a bit of a rant here, catching up on some of the chats. They think they'll make, this is from, I've got to go back just a little bit. Other people saying DIY FPV. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Let's see. Oh, there's actually a few of you guys here. Happy Flyer RC, he's saying cool shirt. It is good to see you, buddy. Just got in from church. I'm late to the party, but is there any information or anything from TBS without getting into trouble? Okay, remind me to talk about that in just a little bit. So we're talking about the TBS wing, which is going to be pretty awesome. I wear glasses. It's why I learned hard with the V2. DJI come out with OLED screens. Spaghetti. Even DJI app is banned on Android cause it sends data out. I use the DJI Air units. No way I'm going to send them my data. Yeah, this is a good point too. When people, you can not choose to get DJI. You don't have to get any of these products, and I completely understand the adverse reaction to this isn't amazing, we should get it, with the concern in the future that I don't want this one company to monopolize my hobby in a terms where I have to use them. Almost like in Australia, or I know definitely in some parts of the US, you can be all for getting the internet through some parts of the country. But if it is owned by one company, if one company is the only people who are allowed to contract and take care of that, they're going to they're going to own such a monopoly, which is why some of the rates in the US, when I've seen and some of the data plans and stuff, it is disgusting what people are being charged for a terrible product. So I can totally understand not wanting to let them have a monopoly. And if you don't want to send them their data, I don't think that that's the case with the no air unit, no DJI FPV is sending air units, is sending your data anywhere, as far as I know anyway. Let's have a look here. People saying use a burner email if you're paranoid. Patriot first. We get in a fit. Yes, this is a great question as well. From Patriot first, he's saying we get in a fit from manufacturers to think we always need the newest and greatest. But if nothing came out for a year or two, would you still enjoy the hobby? I think so. Yep, 100% there. I'm going to say, if you're watching this, if you've been enjoying the stream, we have a super chat goal going, and it is basically to get a review of the DJI O4 air units on there. So if you want to support that, we were not included in the release list for some speculative reasons. You can read into that however you like. I think it's maybe about being critical in the past of some things with DJI, but they definitely did not want me having any information or doing a review. If you would like to see a review from me, though, and Stickman Steve and how we find it, and especially for me, I'm probably most excited about focusing on those these mini-size craft, like 2 to 3 inches with the light. That super chat goal is there. So if you'd like to sign up to that, it would be greatly appreciated, and we can get an O4 video out. That's what we're working towards. DJI now has the N3 Lite and the O4 around 300, and the Walksnail Goggles L and the Avatar around 300 as well. That's monumental because analog goggles used to cost more. Yeah, if that's the case, I think I got to say go the N3. If you're coming in right now, with my limited knowledge, because I haven't tested it, the N3 and the O4 Lite looks like an amazing deal if it's comparative price-wise to the... I do not see a reason to buy this now that the O4 Lite is out with comparable prices. Anyone else who says something else is crazy. Will they still work with the Goggles X, or is CADDX going to release something else? So are you talking about this? The Goggles X, I think that this is going to be a new, like a new VTX. I'm really trying to think carefully about the way I word things so things don't get confusing, like CADDX or Avatar or Walksnail. Like there's so many different names and acronyms. This VTX that you're seeing on the screen, this is the current one. This works with like every single goggle that is an Avatar or Walksnail system. This one right here is a new CADDX VTX that, from what I'm hearing, is going to be on a new system, but there will be an upgrade option at this stage for the Goggles X. Like you can take out the receiver. Now, what I'm going to be pissed about, actually, I'm just as I'm talking this through, do I have to swap that receiver in and out every time? So I've got my goggles. I want to fly around a heap with my current Walksnail stuff. And then I've got some of these new cheaper, or I don't know if they're cheaper. Well, I can talk about that a little bit as well. I've got my new VTX right here. This is a patented super special bottom of a Hot Wheels loop-the-loop track. Do I have to swap my receiver out every time if I'm going to be flying different quads? Because if that is the case, well, that's going to piss me off as well. That's going to be annoying. So is it going to be backwards compatible? That's a really good question. I'm going to see if I can follow up that and find out if it is a new receiver, will it be backwards compatible with old Walksnail generation transmitters? Thank you. That's a great. I've written them a few questions. This right here, probably the part that I was excited about too. I got a little bit more clarification, and I tried to find like a price point without pressuring them too much, right? Because I don't want I don't want to leak an email that says, "Hey, how much is this going to be?" And then they're like, "Oh shit, it is much better for our business or the hobby or whatever." I don't know what their marketing plan is, so I'm trying to give them as much room to answer the question specifically as they like. Now, I have this response. When I specifically asked them about pricing, and for me, for the pricing of this is loose, like unofficial, but like official conversation, if that makes sense. Like it's not a press release or anything, so take this with a grain of salt. It could change. It could just be one guy at CADDX who's trolling me. But for the price of the new VTX, it's going to be the price of an analog VTX. And then it could be between $60 and $90, but it could be cheaper. So that is a huge variable right there. Like if we're talking about 60 to 90 bucks was the figure that I threw out there, like just trying to see what they'd say, because I feel like if it's more than $90 anyway, that's rubbish. Like what's the point of having a 90? You might as well just get the current ones and just move to DJI for that price. But I like that part of like, it could be cheaper. If this is cheaper than $60, like to be able to get this and go flying, I'll be stoked. Like that is a great place to be that would give them room in the market of, hey, do I fly DJI? No. Why? Because I can't afford it. Is DJI a better technical product that can give us more? Yes, but it's more expensive. It is the same reason why some people buy 5090 NVIDIA graphics cards and other people are still buying like a 3060 or something. Like maybe they just want to play solitaire. I don't know. But if we can get this right here for that price, that will be that's exciting. And also take this. Here's a few more little parts. When I was talking about the capabilities, it will be a few. This is word for word, so I'm reading it exactly as it says, and I'm being very careful what I put over onto this screen in case I accidentally click it and show some of the wrong things. It will be a few different capabilities for different needs, like whether that be 4K or lower resolutions. And then here we have, this is the part that I'm excited about. We will make it work with the current systems like the Goggles X. That's what they're saying. But we will see. This is like the make or break point for them. If they don't do that, I'm going to be like, I'm done. I'm done with CADDX. If they'll still review their stuff, like if they're bringing out some cool things, but I will feel so let down for the FPV community. And I think that's something, if CADDX, if you're watching this is one of the biggest things you can do. We need communication. We need to know your thought process. Like you have to explain to us in as much detail of why you're making these decisions, what you're going to do about it. Because then if people can understand, they might be like, okay. But if you just don't share any of that background thought process we're left to our own devices, it's really going to frustrate us. And then finally, it says to us, making it affordable is a way to bring more people into this hobby and is one of the things we hope to achieve in FPV. So there we go. That's about the CADDX system that's coming out. If you want to, I did do a video somewhere. I don't know where it's going to be. If you want to check that out, it's actually probably the most recent one on my channel or two ago. Just going to catch up on the chat. Nothing is free in this world, and if it's cheap, it's probably not worth having. I don't know about that, man. Going for a walk on the beach is pretty cheap. Going fishing is pretty cheap. If it's free, you're the product. This is not always true either. Why? How do I know? Because of like DIY FPV, my own website. It is free to use, doesn't cost anything, and you are definitely not the product. CADDX is done for me. I've just sold all my Goggles X setup. DJI is the way to go. Nothing is forcing you to go digital. You don't really need to. That's from LL. And ADL, CADDX isn't digital, not as big and doesn't deliver enough to not share anything. And Zandil is saying, if one has the current Walks No Avatar system, I don't think they'd want a budget system. I don't know what you mean by that. If I had the Goggles X and I have the ability to buy cheaper VTXs, I'm all for that. All right. Something I do want to show you, which I thought was like, man, this is a great time to demo this. You might be trying, with all this talk about like DJI 04, right? You might be like, I want to get one. Where do I get it in stock? Everywhere keeps selling out. Like it's been seconds and I can't seem to track down one. Check this out. The single best place to get your DJI stuff from, if we go to DIY FPV, link's going to be down below. This is my website, DJI. All right, let's see if we can find an 04 air unit. Check this out. Oh, where were they? That's the 03. DJI 04. Here we go. I do not know why we are getting Emax products right here. There we go. If you go here, check this out. Look at this. These are all the stores that we've got in our database at the moment. And I know I was talking to Phaser. He did have some in stock. They've recently gone out. This website is working perfectly. We can check them out. So like if we go visit Pyrodrone, look at this. We've got them in stock at Pyrodrone. Now, that's my recommendation. If you want to find out how to get the latest product, if you're trying to track down some DJI 04 air units, DIY FPV, like the catalog we have built here, is the #1 place. And this is not hyperbole. This website and the database that we've got here is so powerful. So no matter what product you're looking for, go here. You're going to find out if it's in stock, if it's not, where to get it from, which is probably pretty critical at a time like this when people are scrambling to get them, trying to get like those light units and stuff like that. JZEFPV, huge shout out to you. He has sent through some Canadian dollars. Thank you very much, good sir. He's saying, been learning from you and enjoying your content since I started FPV in 2017. So thanks for all you've done and for FPV over the years. It is my pleasure, my friend. And I hope too that not only do you enjoy my videos and other people too, but also like this website here, DIY FPV. This is like, I love FPV and I want to give something to the community, let people change their life, which is one of the reasons why we made this. Don't look at my notifications here. I do need to go through and sort those out, yes. But like check the map out. If you want to fly with other pilots around the world, well, it's been really cool to see everybody popping up here in different places. Like Europe is absolutely kicking off. That's the first time I've seen over 200 people in one place. But yeah, you can send them a message. Just go check this out. But thank you very much for that support. I don't know how long this goal lasts for. If you are watching this, I'm going to ask you now, please consider a super chat towards that goal because we're working on getting an 04 air unit for review. Like that's what I want to do. That's a video I want to make. And with your support, we're going to be able to do that. So if you'd like to see a video of Stickman Steve and myself flying around with the 04 air unit, telling you what it's like, and specifically probably focusing on like putting them in something like the Lightning or the Draknight, some of those really little frames, that's what I'm very, very excited about. So thank you very much there. JZE for that support, for that super chat. We're slowly on our way, although this is the first time I've ever done a super chat goal, so I'm not 100% sure how that works. UAVFutures, your link in the description isn't formatted to be clickable. Is that for DIY FPV? Let me find out. And you can just literally type DIY FPV. I'll fix it up after this stream, but yeah, you can literally just type DIYFPV.com and it will go to my website. The blades on the DIY FPV icon spin. That's so cool, man. There is so much stuff on this website that behind the scenes too. Like we got some really, really big plans. I can't wait for this one. So we are actively developing this right now, the builder, to be able to wire everything up and have a look at our components, build components, link them, share your build list, check compatibilities. Like there is some amazing stuff coming. And I think we're also working on at the same time to launch this with the guide section. So you might not want to make a guide about wiring something up, but you might have like, hey, here's a radio buyer's guide, or how to choose the right goggles for you. And if you're listing pros and cons, and we want to give people the ability to do that, because this is a resource. This website right here, DIY FPV, aims to be the one place, the mecca of everything FPV. So yeah, that's what we're going to be working on in the future. That's some things you can expect. I'm looking at the time. I think Stickman Steve's heading over. We're going to go rip some quads. I got a couple. We want to test the Bumblebee radio. I want to see what he thinks as well. I suspect CADDX may be selling Goggles X with budget VRXs, and also the budget VRX board for those who want to swap this budget VRX with their current Goggle X. Man, I think I just said X about 20 times reading that out. Zendoli. The TBS wing. Yes, thank you. For those who have been following along, a little while ago, Trappy from TBS, he stopped over. We had an awesome time. And the exciting part for that was, the exciting FPV part is, it was all about testing his latest wing that is going to be coming out. I still can't share too many details. I believe we had one that was ready to ship, but someone might have tested that, and that certain someone, Trappy, might have crashed it. So it might be this is your wing, Stu, it's in pieces. So that's what we're working on. Farmer 78. Okay, this video will be dedicated to you, Farmer. That's like the air unit right there. You absolute madman. So he says, let's celebrate. Oh my God. I've never seen red in my super chats before, so forgive my blushing right here. That you just totally smashed it. So thank you so much there, buddy. This video is going to be dedicated to you. So Farmer78, I would like a performance comparison of DJI goggles V2 and the O3 versus the N3s and the O4. All right. Do you want a range comparison? Let's work this together now, because you've sponsored that video basically. Would you want? We can do all this, but I am envisioning then. I've got my old goggles, how far does it go? What is the actual user experience? If you're talking long range, that's going to be a bit more difficult. But just for a pilot who throws these on, what more am I getting out of upgrading that goggle, right? So the Goggles 3 and the O4 cruising around versus my O3 air unit and a DJI goggle the V2, the ones with the 4 antennas, right? Because that's the ones that are out of life cycle. So, all right, order it now. I'm going to do some Googling, see what I can find, try and find some stock, good old DIY FPV. But yeah, thank you so much, Farmer78, for the people that wear glasses. Okay, all right, that's done. My wife wears glasses, so I'll be able to get her to test that out. She can't fly though, she's not a very good pilot. Don't tell her I said that. But yeah, I want to say thank you so much. That's the entire goal. Smash, you're an absolute champion. I want to say thank you, just truly, thank you for that, and I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that as well. Even Steve is saying, bro, Farmer78, what a legend. How can I put a little heart on this or something? I feel wrong is not the right word, but I don't feel comfortable ending the stream right there after that donation. That I feel I should be providing more of a service, or if you have any questions, Farmer, this next part we can dedicate. If anything to you, if you want to send me an email as well, anything you want me to specifically test, yeah, it's just thank you. I'm actually a little bit speechless. So for someone with ADHD, being speechless is usually something we're not used to. Jake, is my Department of Defense going to block my incoming O4 China shipment into America? Is the Department of Defense going to block my incoming O4 China shipment into America? I don't know. I mean, they're not really reaching out to me for their border security. No bromance needed. What a legend. Okay, so there we go. Look at that, guys. Just someone who's humble, wants to help support the channel, and being able to get the information out there. So I want to say thank you. I appreciate it, and the viewers, I'm sure, will appreciate it as well. Can I get my $5 back? It's 3 months' work. That's from Stickman Steve. No worries, Steve. I'll buy you a coffee. Too easy. There is that O for money. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to say, look, I got to go do some ordering, try and find out what we can do. Try and find something in stock. We can all thank Farmer for the review. Absolutely. He's definitely going to be mentioned when it comes to doing the video as well. On that, if you'd like to check out where you can get them from, remember, jump over to the catalog on DJI FPV. And the most important part as well, this is free to use. And I actually had somebody like a comment, like when they talk about, hey, if it's free, what is you are the product? But that's not actually the case when it comes to our store, because, or not our store, our site that links to the stores. The way that we plan to fund this in the future, we used to have something called the yellow pages here in Australia, which was like a giant phone book that have every single business. This was before the internet. This is works on some of the same principles. So the way that business, the yellow pages worked, is they would make a phone book with every single phone number in there, and it was free to every single Australian household. This is free to every single FPV pilots. And the way that the yellow pages was funded, it was funded through the stores and the companies putting like their information inside the page, inside the phone book. This is the same way. We plan to work with the stores to fund the site, and that we're able to connect users with those stores. Like if you're searching something up, like when we looked for the air units right here, like the store will be happy of like, hey, thanks for helping us connect us to that site. So that's sort of how we work as well. It's totally free to use, doesn't collect any data. We actually have a whole data policy page, and you can read everything. It is purely just an FPV resource made by people who love FPV to get the most out of the hobby. And then finally, the most important part, and this goes out to everybody who is watching this, I want to say that you're valued. I know we talk about it every single week, but FPV, no matter where you are in the world, I want to say that you're special. And you might be eating dinner, you might be working with something on your phone, whatever you are doing, I want to say that I am grateful that you are here. The FPV community is a better place because you're here. And you're like, he's not talking to me. Is he? Yeah, no, I am. I am. You listening right now. You are valued. You are special. The world is a better place with you here. And just talking to you now, I really am grateful that you're here. So thank you. Thanks for being a part of the community and FPV, and it's a better place because you are here. So thanks. All right. Someone's saying it was me. I was talking about that. So, that's Green Thumb FPV, actually. He was saying it was me. I was talking about data. Yeah. So you can read this whole, where is our data privacy policy, actually? Check this out. Right down in the footer. I should have a look here. If we go to, this is what's cool about like having a website too, when we've got a whole bunch of questions here as well. I don't know if anybody's ever read them, but like here's our entire privacy policy, information we collect. And like everything here is straight up plain English. Like what do we actually do? And then when we talk, even things like when we look at the cookies and stuff, you can choose exactly what you want to put in here. So yeah, we've put a lot of work into having a reliable, honest website. That's the truth about it. Okay. All right, I'm out. Huge shout out to Farmer78. I'm going to give Stickman Steve a buzz. I think he might be on his way over soon. Not too sure what we're doing. Thanks for dedication. Just getting to understand how much goes into this content. Yeah, there's a fair bit behind the scenes actually, and also like I just want to say thanks, man. I know you said no bromance, but I've never had a chat that large on the channel, and I want to say thank you. For everybody else, subscribe for more FPV related content. Peace out, and as always, someone's saying location is data. Yeah, well, you're right, but that is when it comes to here. So, like the map, we also don't like this information right here. You sort of need, if you want to say, hey, where am I? you might want to contact someone on here. So this is open to everybody for C too. It's not like just, it's not selling this data on or anything like that. So that's sort of, I don't know, if you want to be part of a community and connect with others, you don't have to use it, but if you want to connect with other people and say, hey, I'm in Queensland or I'm in New York or whatever it's going to be, chances are you're probably going to tell those people you want to fly with them. And to be able to see where people are, I'm not going to message the thousands of people on here hoping that they're in the same area as me. It's so much easier when I can see someone on the map. Anyway, all right, I'm out. You guys are absolute legends. I will speak to you soon, and I'm going to call Steve, and then I am going to try and find a site to order our O4 Air unit from. So thanks very much, Farmer 78. All right, catch you guys.